Right, I'm in the Beresford Street Café with this charming lady whose name is...
Helier.
And you are?
I'm the support manager here.
Is that a paid job or volunteer?
It's a paid job.
This place, this cafe, has been going for how long?
We opened last August, so just over about 15 months.
I mean, it's obviously a success. It's still open. It hasn't closed its doors yet.
Not yet. No, we opened the cafe in August. We then opened our catering workshop in October, and then we opened our printing studio in April of this year.
Now, you've obviously, the objective is all about disability. I mean, you're working here. I don't know what disability you may or may not have, I don't know. But other people, generally speaking, the employees, are they employees or volunteers?
So we have 45 crew members here with learning disabilities. Some are in a paid, we have three different, pathway, traineeship and apprenticeship. So some of our guys are getting paid, some of them are coming on a voluntary basis, and then building up. Our aim is to provide training and employment for people with learning disabilities and autism, for them to gain the skills for them so then go out and find jobs out in the public.
Obviously the public will walk in off the street, they won't know what goes on in here. Sometimes they might say, well, this is a bit peculiar because I'm getting some rather strange service here, or it's a bit slow or whatever. Can you deal with that? Does that cause problems?
No, it doesn't, because I wouldn't say we deliver a strange or slow service. No. I think we're very competitive, like everybody else. We're breaking down these barriers to show people that people with learning disabilities, autism, can serve people just like everybody else, and that's exactly what we're doing. The guys here, aren't serving anyone any slower or any quicker than the market.
But I noticed when I've been in a few times, there's always somebody under tuition. That's noticeable.
Yeah, we're just kind of we're here to support, so we just kind of stay around in the background just for support, really, in case they need a bit of help or a bit of guidance. We try and promote as much independence as possible and let the crew make the decisions, and everyone learns from their mistakes. I don't get everything right when I'm here on a daily basis. I only learn from when I've done things wrong and how to rectify them, and that's what our guys here are doing.
Is it a charity-based organisation?
Yeah, we're a charity. We're also a social enterprise. So all the money that we make here just goes back into the pot to provide more opportunities.
Presumably, you're one of the organisations which is registered under the new charity law.
Yeah.
Right, that's no problem. Of course, you're a big-ish organisation, so that presents no problems to you. That's just a formality.
We're a charity. Yeah,
Do you get many sponsors to fund you?
Yeah, we've got a fundraiser manager who does all of that.
Right. And there's adequate funding? Because obviously it's big premises, it's in a prime position.
It is, yeah. Well, like I say, we're a social enterprise, so all the businesses here make money. That's... Because Well, we have the cafe, we've got our printing studio, and our catering workshop where we provide... we do corporate platters, so the guys in the catering workshop make all the sandwiches for the cafe downstairs, and also we do corporate platters for offices outside catering. Outside catering, yeah.
Do you? And you deliver those?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we crowdfunded our vans. We have our van that delivers all the sandwiches.
Because strangely, there was a little restaurant just down in the southwest at Clevedon or somewhere in the southwest, and that was a similar sort of enterprise. It was a guest house operation, and it was for disabled people primarily, and it was a training school. And I thought, what a wonderful initiative. Now, obviously, you're training people. Do they go out and work in other places? Is that part of the objective?
Yeah, that is our objective. Yeah, we have a few guys that have gone on placements at Longville Manor. As we have only been open 18 months, we're still working. The guys here are still learning them skills that they need before they then go out into work placements.
How do you overcome the problem of if somebody's not disabled and they want a job here? Is that a problem? Because obviously there's a reverse discrimination, isn't there?
Well, our is that we provide training and employ people with learning disabilities.
Right.
So that's who we employ for our crew.
And the law will accommodate that.
I have no idea. I thought this interview was going to be about the guys here, not about the background of this stuff.
Well, it's a general chat, I hope, about... I'm a member of the public, and I see it, and I come in here sometimes for a piece of cake and a cup of tea.
Yeah, like I say, people can apply for jobs here. We just interviewed for with a support worker and all that, so people could have applied for that don't have disabilities.
Right.
So...
Is it long term, what's the future likely to be? And what sort of areas of expansion can you see? Because there are a lot of people in Jersey with disabilities, and they've got their own carers. I mean, so there's a lot of people involved, aren't they, affected by disability?
There is, yeah. You know, we'd like to grow, and you know, not everyone with a learning disability wants to work in a cafe. We want to grow and expand as much as we can into all different areas. You know, what opportunities come up.
Right. Does it? I mean, with somebody with a severe disability who has somebody in attendance, could they work here? Is it possible they could work here?
What do you mean?
Well, a lot of people have to have somebody to assist them. They have to have a permanent carer with them. I mean, there was a lady in the shop down below just now, and she had a guy who was in a wheelchair, as it happened.
Okay.
But he's not incapable of doing something, I suspect. No. I don't know.
Yeah, no. We, you know, we do have support workers here, so we try and encourage as much independent as possible. You know, it is an employer, so we try and encourage people to come without support workers if they can. We have our own support workers here, but of course, if somebody needs to have some of them,
because obviously they need not be front of house; they could be back room doing clerical, whatever job.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Like I say, we try and you know, we want these guys coming into work, we want them to be as independent as possible. So a lot of our crew that we've had started here originally want support workers to come with them, and their support workers haven't, and they flourished. Not, you know, a lot of them. How
many people do you think you are reaching? Just people with disabilities or their families? How many do you think are reaching through this project?
Well, we have we employ 45 people with learning disabilities at the moment, and you know, we'd love that to grow.
Right. Obviously it has an effect because people are aware of it. So people like me come in and say, oh, there's a cafe here, it's catering specifically for you.
Yeah, I mean, we have a waiting list of around 20 people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyone at any time can come in and get an application form and fill that out.
You don't trumpet it outside. You don't say, oh, come in here, we're catering for disabled people. It's just a normal activity.
Yeah, it's just who we are, you know.
It's a cafe.
It's a cafe, yeah.
Exactly.
It's a cafe with a conscience.
Right, yes, it's an interesting idea, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how long are you going to be here? Are you long term?
Yeah, I'm here for forever.
What's your background beyond this?
So I worked in with young adults with autism for 10 years before I worked here.
Because the autism group was another interesting group, because I raised the thing about respite, and the autism group became very vocal and sort of, this was a scrutiny panel, and they more or less took it over, which was good because there was such a lack of respite here, and the autism group sort of expanded as a result of that. And they started to provide services, and they were contracted by the states. I'm not sure it was altogether a good thing, but they started to provide services which didn't exist because they were asked, because the states suddenly became aware of their existence and the problems that they were care for the person who was affected with the autism and their families. It's an old problem. Is that something you encountered?
I'm not sure what you're asking me there.
Well, I mean, obviously autism has been well known for quite a long time.
Yeah.
But when that question, I raised about respite care, not about autism in mind, in fact about geriatric and older people, because there were a lot of older people looking after somebody, and it was just bearing down on them 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They couldn't be treated, they didn't get any respite. So that was what motivated me to ask the question. So when that inquiry took place, there was a very strong autism lobby came along. And I listened to it week after week, and it was quite extraordinary how something as aware as that, people, very articulate people, and there were not the facilities. Now as a result of that and their activities, there are now facilities, there are respite care. Now, only because it was highlighted. They highlighted it, they fought their battle. Now, unless people fight their battle, it does seem these things that can be ignored. Is that not?
I would say we're fighting any battles. We're here providing something that needs. If we, we hope that people see us and what we're doing, and and that inspires them to be, to do something similar, or employ somebody with a learning disability or autism. That's what we're all about, breaking down them barriers.
Right. Now that you're training up people, do you get employers phoning you up and say, look, we're looking for a whatever? We are starting to have some strong links with employers out there. Yeah, it's really good actually. Okay. Well, I'm not going to ask you any more silly questions.
Okay.
Anything you want to tell me?
No, just come down and see us.
Well, I do pop in for my cup of tea every now and again.
That's good.
Okay, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.